Pastor Rod Parsley's daughter called them a reprobate. Stay tuned. God bless you, friends. Thank you for joining me on Morning Nuggets. This is yours truly, Pastor Nate. And as always, it is my absolute pleasure every time I come and speak with you. I pray that this exhortation finds you well. Rod Parsley daughter calls ex-followers a reprobate. Now, I don't know the name of Pastor Rod Parsley's daughter. When I was young, I used to watch Rod Parsley a lot. But I kind of lost respect for him when he made a video a few weeks ago really demeaning his staff. Now we have his daughter operating in that same spirit. In a recent video that went viral, Rod Parsley's daughter is rebuking what I feel like are ex-followers, people who left the church. And she's letting them know how she feels about it. And based on the video, these are people who really didn't give like she thought they should have been given, because she used terms like reinvest into the vision. When you're disobedient, especially in the area of finances, she used phrases like that. That lets me know she was upset because the people didn't give, which lets me know the church may be in dire need financially, the way she was going off. Take a listen.
Some of you came and you ate and you left your dung, and you've done nothing to reinvest in the vision. You're a reprobate.
You better talk to those preachers out there.
The Bible calls you a reprobate.
Prophesy, prophet.
That means you've been turned over. When you're disobedient to what God tells you to do, especially in the realm of finances, you reap a curse upon yourself. And for those of you that have been a part of this ministry, I'm just going to talk prophetically here. You've been a part of this ministry. You've watched your family get saved. You've watched your family be healed. You've received personal miracles in your own body, in your family, and your finances. And you've left this place because you've gotten your feelings. You got your feelings hurt. If I left this place every time I got my feelings hurt, honey, I would have left when I was 3 years old. Grow up. Grow up. You're immature. You're immature and you're a reprobate. And you sow discord and dissension and then expect to reap the blessing of God. That's not how this works. We've had more people in positions of leadership that have been here for 20 plus years come and say that they're thinking about going somewhere else because they no longer agree with pastors' politics. When did politics have anything to do with the kingdom?
Now she called them a reprobate. Now that's a strong word. A reprobate for people who didn't give like she thought they should have given, or who left the ministry. Friend, listen. Paul talks about a reprobated mind in Romans 1:28. And the scripture tells us that God turned them over to a reprobated mind. He turned them over to their own lust. The scripture was talking about sexual immorality, if you read the scripture, because they rejected God. They rejected the knowledge of God and didn't attain the knowledge of God, the word says. God said, you know what? Since you keep rejecting me, I'm going to turn you over to your own lust, to your own lustful desires. So God turned them over to a reprobated mind. It was not talking about finances here. It was not talking about if you leave the church, you're a reprobate. So if she was basing it on that scripture, that's inconsistent with the word. It seemed like she was very disturbed because people left or they didn't give. Well, friend, let me tell you something. This is what I tell people in my life, and as a manager, this is what I tell people at work. If you don't want to be here, I don't want you here, because you're miserable and all you're going to do is make everybody else miserable. If you're in a church and you feel like you're not getting fed and you're unhappy, I'd rather for you to leave than be miserable. And furthermore, I want your money. I believe that you should give where you're getting fed. But everybody always talking about, and she mentioned this in the video, you'll be reprimanded by God or you'll be cursed if you don't give. But let me tell you something. If you scare people into giving and that person gives out of fear or grudgingly, how do you think God feels about him or her giving? That doesn't please God, because that person was not a cheerful giver. That person gave out of fear. That person gave out of compulsion, if you will. And that's not the way to give. So we often talk about God cursing you if you don't give. But how do you think God feels when you give grudgingly? Ooh, I know some preachers ain't gonna like me now. Based on the scripture, Rod Parsley's daughter was not quite aligned when she used the word reprobate, judging by the scripture. Seemed like she was upset. Maybe she was put up there because the church was in dire need of money. I don't know, but the way she was going off, it implied that. It seemed like she was preaching to please her father, because you saw him on the sideline saying preaching, edging her on. I think she was in flesh. But I want to ask you, with this rant she did, and I want you to leave your comments in the comment section. Do you feel like it was from God? You feel like it was righteous indignation? You feel like that rebuke or that reprimand was scriptural and it was necessary? Or do you feel like she was operating in flesh? Maybe she was trying to please her father, or maybe she was operating out of anger. Let me know, friend. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button. We'll be glad to have you part of the Smart family. Thank you for coming by this morning. In the meantime, in between time, be at peace and not in pieces. Till next time.